how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I am doing my next episode in the series. Was that haul worth it? So this was influenced very heavily by Haleo, one of the beauty news girls. They're back doing beauty news. I love it. But yeah, so she kind of does this on a monthly basis, kind of reflecting on her purchases from the previous year, or let you know what she bought this month and all those kind of things. I'm regressing. I'm going way back. We're into I'll link my other video down below, the first one I did in this series, and I'm on to 2018, 2019, 2020, that kind of era. What I'm doing with this is I'm going through my online receipts essentially to see what I purchased. This obviously isn't all that I purchased because I would have bought some in store. I maybe misplaced a receipt. You know, there's more, but I'm just reflecting on these items specifically to help me understand my spending habits, where I went so wrong and how I'm in the predicament that I'm in at the moment, which is that I'm spending too much. Well, I'm not at the moment because I'm on an no-buy and so far so good. But yeah, the first episode I did in this was quite illuminating in realizing how much I spent and how much I decluttered, how much I used up, you know, etc. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first item that I have here is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in Fair. I have my little book in case you're wondering why we're looking down. And what I've said about it was that, first and foremost, so just let this be a lesson to you. I ordered this online from the Charlotte Tilbury website. I got an email saying that my Ted Baker order was on the way. So I would assume from that these products are made in the Ted Baker factory, essentially, and quite possibly then the Ted Baker holiday gift sets that come out in Boots every year if you live in UK, Ireland, those kind of places, are the same as Charlotte Tilbury's and a fraction of the cost. Just something to think about. But what I said is not worth the hype at all. Didn't enjoy how it looked under my eyes. Nowhere near as nice as the Hourglass powder that I have now, in my opinion. Also bought the number 7 powder to see if it was a dupe, like it was claimed, because I remember Jessica Braun at the time was saying that it was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury powder. Why I went and bought the number 7 powder that was supposedly a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury when I didn't like the Charlotte Tilbury. Like what? What? So, yeah, a lot of stupidity there involved, but that's why we're in the mess that we're in. By we, I mean me. Also, let me just say as well, because one or two people were saying like, God, I feel guilty now for it. Don't feel guilty for your purchases if you're happy with your purchases. Don't be feeling any shame. There's no shame here. If you're happy with your collection the way it is, then there's no problem then. You're not hurting anyone. I was shopping for the wrong reasons. I was shopping for emotional reasons and as a coping mechanism. And it didn't improve the situation, and it just made it worse because then I was in debt. But anyway, back to this. So I've used it to completion, which at least I got my money's worth out of it. It was 42 euros for a face powder that didn't last that long, to be fair. I don't think there was a lot in it. But yeah, wasn't a major fan. Next up is the Tatty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. I was a big fan of Tatty Westbrook back in the day before she lost all. Anyway, I paid 55 euros plus customs for it and postage, obviously. I did enjoy this palette. My only gripe was that the sequins row, it performed the same as the matte row but with glitter fallout. I mean, that row was just ridiculous. But the rest of it was quite beautiful, I have to say. I did enjoy using that palette. And I still have some of the shadows. I have them in this little palette here. So these ones here and this one are all hers, and I think I have a few others around the place as well. But the sequins row and the glitter row as well actually went, because the glitters dried out a lot and they just kind of were irritating my eyes, so I got rid of the glitters and the sequins row. But the rest of them, I did enjoy them immensely, and I would have loved to have seen what else she came out with, but no, I wouldn't purchase it. So I've said I've 50-50, decluttered 50%, kept 50%. Next up was the Kikos Futurism 6 or 7, Shasimi City. And it was my first order from Kikos and probably my last. These are the 2 shades that I still have left from it. They're quite pretty shades, that's why I kept them. The mattes were just basic, bog standard mattes. I have them every which way and on any number of palettes. I said, it was my first order from Kikos and probably my last. It just wasn't enough for me to kind of want to go and buy more. I said the mattes were grand and the shimmers were fine. Didn't get me that excited. I am interested in the lip clay cloud thingies that they have. Just an okay brand in my opinion. Maybe one day, like I said, I'll try it again, but at the moment I'm not feeling the need to delve more into the brand. So I have 2 shadows left out of a thing of 5. I think it was 5 or 6 shades. Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit in Sculpture. So at the time I'd always wanted one of these palettes. I always saw everybody talk about them and love them. So I paid $62.30 for this palette. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. I'm getting use out of it this year. I used up the Ghost one kind of last year, and this is the one that I'm working on this year. These 2, the bronzer and the dim light, is it? Every time I have to look at it, every time. Yeah, dim light I've mixed together and put into a pan to form my perfect bronzer. I still have it, but wouldn't purchase another one as the pans are too small. It's impossible to get brushes into them, especially for the bronzer. It's ridiculous. I do love the finishing powders. I bought a full size of the diffused light. I really enjoy it. But the rest of the face powders were just okay. Bought a full size face powder because I love it, but wouldn't be tempted to buy any of the rest. So the blushes, the highlights, the the bronzers wouldn't really entice me to pay the money that they cost. But the powder I use under my eyes, and it's the only one in my opinion that genuinely works for me under the eyes. So yeah. Next up is the Natasha Denon Mini Star Palette. It was €21 at the time. Here she is here. We still have it. I've removed this shade here because I didn't enjoy it. And ever since I've done that, because that shade was stopping me from going for this palette. Just the way the brain works sometimes. But since I've taken it out, I'm thoroughly enjoying this palette. I find myself reaching for it organically, even though I have it in my Project 100 uses. Just really enjoying this. I said I still have it. And I've written here, because this is before I took out that shade, but one of my least favourite Natasha Denon palettes. That's changed now. I really enjoy it. I said it stopped me from buying Natasha Denon for a long time because, wow, that shade, it just had such an effect on me. It was one of those, blue-brown shades, and it was just, and I thought, what's all the fuss about? But then I bought another one eventually, and, I understood the fuss then. I think it was the Midi Love one. Yeah, that was it. But then I got the Midi Love and started picking up other minis, all on discount. I never paid full whack for them. I always wait till they go on sale. And my love affair grew. Just not a full price love affair, a bargain love affair. So I still have it, and I'm working away on it. And this is, my goal this year is to work on my older products. Next up is the Hooda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. And again, I still own it, which is a good thing. Here it is here. I paid €45 for this because it was half price. And I said, yeah, I don't mind paying that much for it, but I wasn't going to pay the €70 or something that it was at the time. I again took out the shades that just weren't spark and joy. And yeah, I'm enjoying it much more since I did that. I said, I really enjoy this palette, except for the blues and the white, which are the shades that I've removed. Nice formula. I have a few pans in it. Need to get more use out of it as it is getting older. And yes, it is. It's one of my oldest in my collection. So yeah, that is still true. Next up, by Beauty Bay, so Beauty Bay's own brand. They had crayon eyeliners. I got the Core Collection trio, which was black, brown, and a nude kind of shade, and I got the shade in Peacock. Got some good use out of the Peacock shade, but I felt some of them dried out quicker than others, and they didn't stay put on my watery eyes, which, you know, is a bit of a no for me. And I decluttered them. And the other problem with them as well, all the packaging is the exact same, so you don't know till you open it what colour it is. Even if they just put the, you know, the parer part on the bottom, the sharpener for it, in a different colour to the colour that the pencil's in, something that you could tell by looking what shade it was before you kind of had to root through it and see what it's written on it in tiny writing, or open it and see what it is. I know, look it, nitpicking, but just one of those little things that's a little annoying. Next up was Fenty Beauty, two little stunners, mini longwear fluid lip colour duo set. So the two colours, they were too dark for me, essentially. I wanted it because I wanted the red. I had been on the hunt for a red that looked nice and stayed on and I didn't have to worry about. So I picked two. The shades were too dark for me, which in hindsight was stupid, because I don't like dark colours on me, ever. They're like a fantasy self kind of thing, where I think, oh, wouldn't I be lovely and vampy? But I find I have a very small mouth, and dark colours make it look smaller, obviously, because that's what dark does. So yeah, it's just, again, fantasy self purchase. Apart from this, the formula wasn't great. It didn't stay. They didn't last well or wear off evenly on me, and the applicator was hard to use. So all around, didn't enjoy them. Decluttered. Next I bought the Becca Primed and Luminous Kit. This is back when Becca was probably on the way out. It had the First Light primer in it, the Hydro, what are they called? The Hydro Mist Set and Refresh powder, and a mini highlighter in Opal. So I used up all of it, actually. So the First Light primer, I said it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything I was upset about not being able to repurchase. So, you know. The Hydro Mist powder, I bought the full size in it, and I'm using it at the moment. And the Opal highlighter mini, I used up completely. Now, some of it I used up by using it on my body, on my legs, on my décolletage and that during the summer. And I think some I put into a lotion as well to use up. Wasn't mad keen in it like a lot of people are. It was fine. Next was another Becca's kit. It was the Becca Spark the Light Best Sellers kit, which, looking back, I don't think this was their best sellers. One item in it was, the rest I don't think so. We had the Becca Backlight Primer Filter, which was absolutely one of their best sellers, and I said I really enjoyed it and would repurchase it if it was available. It's a very nice primer, because I like a glowy primer, so that one typically was. Becca Ignite in Passion. So this was a liquid highlighter, and I don't think that was ever a bestseller for them, but it was too dark for my skin. So that got decluttered. And a Becca lipstick, and the colour in that just was not flattering on me at all. So again, I don't think their lipsticks were part of their bestsellers. I think you're lying. So I used up one out of the kit and decluttered 2 items out of it. And I think this is the last item, yeah, that I have record of. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightener, and I have a mini of this that I'm using at the moment. And I really enjoyed it. So much so that, well, the mini was from Valerie. But yeah, I went on the hunt then for replacements and that. But I love this so much. It was my introduction to under eye correctors. I used that one up completely, and I'm using the mini, which you just saw. Since then, lots of brands have come out with others, and the one from Revolution is my favourite. So this is the one from Revolution. A fine big tub of it, and I like that formula. I like how it sits on my under eyes, and I like the shade of it. But I finished that completely. So on to numbers. In that time frame, again, please bear in mind this is just online receipts that I can account for. I spent €354.35. There was 19 items. I decluttered 9 items at a cost of $89.97, so nearly €90 decluttered. I used up $95.66, which was 6 items, and I still have 4, which I showed you, and they come to $168.80. So yeah, that's, you know, the decluttered items. Some of them went to another home, some of them went to landfill. I know that's not good, but that's what happened. And that's what happens when you purchase excessively, or I do anyway. So yeah, I'm glad that there were 6 products there that were used up fully. That's not bad. I'm happier with that. So to date, so from last video to this video, what I have down has been spent €490.49. So, you know, you're thinking not too bad, Ruth. But wait till we get on to 2021. Yeah, that's going to be a 2-parter, I think, because there's too much in it. Spent $490.49 and acquired 32 items. Of that number, decluttered €210.36, which is 19 items decluttered. 19. Used up 9 items at a value of $111.41, and still have in my collection 4 items at a value of $168.80. So again, a valuable little trip down memory lane for me to kind of remind me, 1, stop shopping for your fantasy self. That's just ridiculous. I'm never going to be that person. And not just because of me as a person, but just as to what suits me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, you're 40, nearly 45 years of age. At this stage of your life, you're telling me you don't know what suits you? Of course you do. Cop on to yourself. This is a chat between Ruth and Ruth. Just cop on to yourself, girl. But yeah. Under my last video, the comments, a lot of you were saying that you found this kind of helpful. So that's why I'm continuing to do it, and it's helpful for me too. But, you know, have you had to look back yourself at your kind of online purchases? And like, if you think about it, that's just my online purchases, are the ones that I have a record of. You could probably double all those numbers. You really could. Which is, yeah. But let me know when, if you do feel that you overspend on makeup and that you have too much in a collection, when do you think that kicked off? What year is it for you that it really kicked off? Because looking at my thing, I mean, it's been escalating as the years go on, but oh boy, 2021, that was a year. That was a year. And again, like I said, that's just the recorded ones. God only knows if I really, do you know, I really admire those people that literally input every single thing into a spreadsheet. And it's what I have started doing. Last year I started it to be a bit more cognizant of what's coming into my collection and when it came in and how much I'm spending. And oh no, did I wake you up, Puddin'? Oh God, he's having a big stretch and a yawn. Oh, he's so tired. Oh no. You all right? Yes, that's exactly what they all want to see, love. He's having a bit of a scratch. Tough times. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Having a good old scratch there, buddy. That's Scamps. I don't think I say his name enough in these videos. That is Scamps. The mutt. Love of my life. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and it was of some way useful or interesting or something to you. And hopefully I'll chat to you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Slán. Sneezing.